New York was favored in that game. Hey, Jets, thanks for playing. The Cardinals rout the Jets and Aaron Rodgers post-game show now. PHNX Cardinals post-game show, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. The Arizona Cardinals suddenly pretty good at football. 4 straight wins after routing, absolutely clowning Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. I'm Johnny Venerable, the playmaker, former Arizona Cardinal wide receiver Brittan, Golden, Damon, Dawg, producer extraordinaire behind the mic. We've got Brack in Glendale. In just a couple minutes, I want to remind everybody the presenting sponsor on today's post-game show, our friends at Bet365. Download the app today. Bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. Find out why, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary on Bet365. And we're going to start the show off a shameless plug, yet a boosted one. Nonetheless, if you dabbled with our friends at Bet365 on the pregame show, we boosted your odds plus 230 to plus 260. James Conner, anytime tutty, check. Arizona Cardinals, a big old dub. So you're making out big with our friends at Bet365, Brittan, Golden.
Oh, it was a big W today.
It was.
Made some money in the process.
Never needed it more. The Arizona Cardinals, I think we've had some really fun victories this year. We were in Miami and Hard Rock, come back from behind. The rout against LA, the rout against Chicago. I'm sensing a trend here. This game today against the New York Jets, and completely outclassing a team that everybody in the national media declared was the darling of the league. They've had 6 primetime games. They beat Houston at home last Thursday, and the league announced that they were somebody. The Cardinals came out, and they stepped on their throat for 4 quarters. Jonathan Gannon completely put to bed, undressed their coaching staff for the Jets, and the Cardinals have now gone 3 straight home games without allowing an opposing touchdown. Let me repeat that. The Cardinals have played 3 games at home over the last month and have not allowed a touchdown at State Farm Stadium en route to a 31-6 victory here today, led by what I think now you can consider an MVP candidate in one Kyler Murray.
Oh, yeah. I mean, today was both facets of the game for him, too. Running the ball, throwing the ball, his pocket presence. I think everything that Kyler showed today, he set a franchise record today in completions, consecutive completions. I mean, this was definitely an MVP type performance that we've seen out of Kyler Murray, sitting in the pocket, delivering the ball, delivering dimes while he's under pressure, not getting happy feet and worried and trying to get out of the pocket. He just sat in there and knew he might have to take a hit and threw a dime. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see at this point in the season.
Jump in the chat, drop a like. The golf course on a post-game dub, 1,000 likes or more for your boys at PHNX Cardinals. And again, we alluded to it. Let's jump into it. The X Factor player of the game, the franchise quarterback, 19 straight completions today for Kyler Murray. That's a team record broken from the former quarterback of my co-host here, Carson Palmer, who I think had 17 at one point. Kyler does 19 straight completions, 22 of 24, 266 yards passing, a passing touchdown, could have had 2 rushing touchdowns, absolutely toyed with the Jets for 4 quarters, 21 yards rushing, and a dub as his team, not San Francisco, not the Rams, not those fraud Seahawks. The Cardinals are in first place at 6-4 behind a Kyler Murray that we've never seen more confident, more efficient, and more free to play his brand of football. And it's a beautiful thing.
I think it's a credit. I mean, we sat here last year and, we were patiently waiting for Kyler Murray's return, and we were wondering how it would look when he got back. He got back, and there was a step up, obviously, but it just wasn't to the level of play we wanted to see. And then the beginning of the year started off kind of slow for him. It's not that he played bad,
right?
It just wasn't the wow factor. And the last 4 or 5 weeks that we've seen, even last week, he threw for 140 yards. It wasn't anything crazy, but he managed the game well. He put the team in situations to help. And like where he's at now, you can see the cohesiveness between him and Drew Petzing now. You're starting to see it between him and Marvin and him and Trey more week in and week out. Like they're comfortable together. They realize what they can do. He's starting to understand where they're going to be between Marvin and Trey and all his receivers. He knows where they're going to be, at what time they're going to be there. The timing is starting to connect perfectly. You're starting to see, like we said in the halftime, Drew Petzing is starting to just sit there and he knows what to call now.
Yep.
Maybe it was, we were critical early. Maybe he didn't know. He wasn't comfortable with calling plays. You can start to see that everything is starting to mesh together between the offense.
Drew Petzing gets his flowers today. Third straight game. The Cardinals are over 28 points. Kudos to him. But it's orchestrated by a young man, a quarterback, who was an afterthought in this league, who was, frankly, picked apart by the national media. We've been staunch supporters of Kyler Murray, but there was some dark times for the franchise quarterback, and his story is not open and shut now. He's still writing it. But I think if you ask Kyler Murray behind closed doors what the Cardinals are doing this year, after starting 2-4 and the belief they have in their franchise quarterback, their GM Monty Ossenford, and of course, head coach Jonathan Gannon, I mean, it's the kind of season that we'll talk about, hopefully, for years to come here in Arizona, the start of something special for this team. Because I think we all agreed, like before the year, they got talent, they should be feisty. Can they get to over 500? Can they have some breaks go their way? It's not that they're winning games. They're winning games emphatically. They're embarrassing teams. And we see the staunch difference in talent. The difference that the Jets have Quinnen Williams and Bryce Huff and Hassan, or they used to have Bryce Huff, Hassan Reddick, multiple linebackers and safeties. They've got, Elijah Vera Tucker and Breece Hall and Devontae Adams and Garrett. It didn't matter. They scored 6 points today. The Jets were non-competitive. What team was the most competitive? The team that's overachieving right now. And it just shows you, like, the foundation, I'm not saying it's being late. It's been late now. The rebuild is over. This is who the Cardinals are. And now they're going to reap the benefits of their draft capital of $118 million in cap space to be able to hopefully put a stranglehold on this NFC West and host playoff games for years to come.
Oh, I agreed. I think so much credit needs to go to Nick Rallis, JG, and this defense.
Yep.
Because we talk about it week in and week out about not having the superstar guys, not having the big names out there. You've got young players playing corner for you right now. You had Demerson came in and got the start today and played outstanding today. I mean, the DBs did exactly what we talked about pregame, right? They kept everything in front. They did not get beat deep one time today. I mean, it was just one of those things where you had your new pass rusher came in, created pressure all day long, which was huge. So Aaron Rodgers is under pressure and nobody's behind these DBs. They kept everything in front. They tackled. They don't get enough credit, especially for the last 4 weeks of work this defense has done. It's been absolutely fun to watch.
I could come back to regret this, but we were watching the Tampa Bay Niner finish the end of today, and there were people like myself who were like, oh man, I really hope Tampa Bay can gut this out. And then I'm thinking to myself watching this game, I'm like, the Cardinals already beat the Niners. The Cardinals get to play the Niners at home against the second half. The Cardinals, unlike the Niners, get to play the cupcake version of their schedule here after the bye. I'm excited for this team to play the Niners because right now, the Niners, to me, feel like a team that's kind of holding on for dear life. Go look at their wins. They've got 5 W's. They're not very impressive, right? They're beating teams that are disheveled. They beat the Cowboys and the Bucks and some pretty average teams. Yeah, the Cardinals are beating average to below average teams, but they're embarrassing them. And you can see the arrow pointing up. And now you've got a second half of the schedule, if you're Monty Ossenford, Jonathan Gannon, and Kyler Murray, where you go to Carolina, where you play the Patriots, you get the Seahawks twice. I mean, like, they're at 6-4. This is frankly the best case anybody could have hoped of, especially when they were left dead and buried by a lot of people at 2-4. So I don't think the playoffs now, they're not an afterthought in terms of like we're checking a box. That's the expectation now. Then it becomes the next step. Do you have what it takes to win this division for the first time since you were on the team in 2015? For the first time in 9 years to come into this season, universally picked to finish 4th and to get the first overall. We always hear it every year. It's like team goes from worst to first. Is that the Cardinals this year?
I mean, honestly, from what we've, especially the last 4 weeks from what we've seen, the only reason this team doesn't win the division is if they hurt themselves.
Yep.
Right, keeping themselves out of trouble, penalty wise, and making bad decisions. Like if you can do or put the offensive production that you put on the last 4 weeks, there's no reason this team loses the NFC West.
We're going to hear from head coach Jonathan Gannon as well as the franchise quarterback Kyler Murray after his 19 straight completions right around the corner here on PHNX Cardinals. Goodness gracious, after this game today, you know I'm going to need a refresher with my friends at Circle K. How about an anytime Polar Pop or Froster, 79 cents, no matter the size. It was a summer thing here in Arizona. It's been extended. I love it because I love our friends, our partners at Circle K. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups every day. Save 3 cents per gallon after those first 5 fill-ups are maxed out. Enjoy your beverage. Enjoy your snacks. The deals, if you go to the Inner Circle app, you just start scrolling down. It's going to save you money. I was there last night, had to fill up, paid a fraction of the cost as compared to some of the competitors. But you got to join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. They've got their own exclusive snacks section, saving you money. You're not compromising the value. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details. It's America's Thirst Stop. Join the Inner Circle free membership program. I love telling this story. My kids go to a new school, and for the first couple weeks, I'm like, what are all these hats that I keep seeing? They're not PHNX sports hats. Number one, that upset me. But then number two, I'm like, well, they are really nice hats. They're branded Bills hats, and they're fantastic. And the best part is, local company based right out here in Mesa, Arizona. We're going to hook you up right now. One of our favorite new sponsors, our favorite new partners, whether you need a snapback, trucker, fitted, beanies. We got some caps here in the studio I can't wait to snag. Branded Bills has got you covered with performance and style. And again, locally based. You got to love that. Chef's Kiss, they're proud partners of both ASU and U of A. So rock your alma mater with pride as a part of their campus collection. Head to brandedbills.com. Use the bonus code PHNX for 20% off your first order. I encourage everybody, go browse around brandedbills.com and tell me you can't find something you like. So much good stuff, such high quality headwear. Again, the fitteds, the tees, they're elite. We're going to help you saving 20% off your first order. Brandedbills.com, one of our faves with PHNX Sports. A lot of faves on display today for the Arizona Cardinals. Let's count some cards here on a PHNX Cardinals post-game show. There was too many to fit on a graphic, frankly. So we did our best. So to consolidate here, Marvin Harrison Jr., a very methodical day. Brittan Golden for the 4th overall pick. Marvin had 5 catches on 5 targets, caught every pass thrown his way with a touchdown. And it did feel like when Marv caught that touchdown in the first half, the game was over.
Oh, it did. I mean, it wasn't anything that wowed you stat-wise today from Marv, but it's something that you want to start seeing happen more often. Like the 5 targets, 5 catches, like you're starting to see that pattern. You're starting to see that connection between him and Kyler, where at the beginning of the year, what do you say? He had 4 incompletions and they were all to me, right? That's starting to fade itself out right now. They're on the same page. The timing is connecting. I mean, this is the Marvin you want to see every week, right? Obviously, you want to see him have more yards, but the consistency is what you want to see. Catching the ball when the ball comes your way, make that catch, right? We saw early he put some balls on the ground, and it was just an issue. People were worried. This is the Marvin Harrison you can get when they're on the same page.
Drop a like if you're fired up to watch Marv eat this schedule in the second half of this year. Marv, 6 touchdowns in 10 games. That'll do. How about the rookie, Adrian Taylor Demerson, 4th-round pick, that if you ask people around the team has been ready to start since training camp. But, oh, by the way, he plays behind 2 pretty good pros, and Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson, the latter who couldn't go today. Taylor Demerson comes out, and I thought, heck of a debut. The biggest play, of course, batting the ball down on 3rd down with Davante Adams in the end zone. And, I mean, his physicality was on display. He played a lot of snaps in college, so again, I don't want to talk about what's this future of the position look like outside of 42 is going to be a part of it.
Oh, for sure. And he kind of shows you, it's a little reminder of a young Budda Baker, right? The way he flies around. I mean, he's dropping that shoulder and trying to just annihilate people when he can. He's wrapping up in space. I mean, coverage-wise was great today. He should have had that interception in the end zone, but we'll take a PBU all day long. I mean, I thought he came out and played tremendously today. I mean, he flew around the field. He was making tackles. He was in on plays. That's what you want to see, and it just adds to that, you know, who's it going to be, right? Who do you lose safety-wise after this season is over, right? I mean, obviously money will play a huge factor into that, but right now you've got 3 solid contenders at the safety position.
Budda Baker is a free agent. We're going to talk about that ad nauseum. Jalen Thompson has a nice cap hit. I think it's right around what, like $10 to $12 million. And then Taylor Demerson making no money as a 4th rounder. Like, something's got to give there. But the Cardinals are benefiting from that kind of bounty of youth on display in the secondary. I tweeted this out. I mean, Max Melton, Garrett Williams, Starling Thomas, and now Taylor Demerson. Whatever the combination looks like, you're in good shape. And with all due respect to Sean Murphy-Bunting, get out of the lineup. Did you see Max Melton clamp down on Garrett Williams, Garrett Wilson at the end of the game?
All due respect, just like you said.
Goodbye.
You lead them young boys in there. Mm-hmm. I mean, Murphy-Bunting was in the beginning of the game. He gets popped for a pass interference penalty, right? Yep. And then you didn't have there was no issue with that when Melton gets back in the game. It almost felt
like, all right, Sean, we've seen enough. Yeah. Like, Max has been on a hot streak. I mean, like, since the Cardinals bailed on Sean Murphy-Bunting, consistently being a part of their defense, I know he's been hurt. No disrespect to him. They're 4-0. And they're playing their best defense of the year. Like, something's got to give there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I see somebody in the chat talk about the cap space you have. I mean, with what Budda has done defensively for you this year, like, he doesn't have 6 interceptions. Like, forget the interception part. The man has had this is like the 3rd straight game with double-digit tackles.
Yep.
He had a sack today. He's everywhere. He's just a menace on the field. Like, I don't know how you get rid of somebody. I think you have to find a way to keep Budda in this lineup. I mean, he's a leader. He does everything right. I mean, it's one of those guys that, you know, I'm not comparing him to Larry Fitzgerald, so don't come after me here. But he's one of those guys. Cardinal. He's one of those guys that you would love to see, no matter what it takes, to retire a Cardinal.
This is the kind of season Budda Baker and James Conner deserving contract years. The contract discussion's gonna have to wait till January, February. But, like, if this is, I don't think this is James last year, but I do think Budda, it's maybe 50-50. I could be naive with that. Make it worth it. Get a playoff spot. Win the NFC West. The last name on counting cards, which really, for a lot of people outside of K1, maybe the most impressive player today. Oh, look, it's Trey McBride destroying people, ending people on the football field. 3 straight weeks with Trey McBride hurdling defenders. This was the most impressive. If you go back, and let's just make this our Sanderson Ford drive of the game here in a little bit. Trey McBride throws Sauce Gardner off of him as Sauce is trying to bring him to the ground. By the way, Sauce Gardner, not a good day for the former top 10 pick. He gets thrown to the ground as he thinks he has Trey McBride 5 yards short of the stick. And then Trey McBride is able to keep his momentum on that drive and then hurdle a defender. I mean, it's unbelievable. The Cardinals, and I tweeted this out last week, I'm just going to keep repeating it. The Cardinals historically, if you've not been following this franchise long, first of all, welcome, drop a like. They were the tight end wasteland for 30 years. They basically punted on the position. And then every time, respectfully, they had to address it. It was a disaster. And yet now, I mean, outside of George, I will give George Kittle his due. Grandpa at the position, he's catching touchdowns. He's having a really nice year. Every GM in the league would take Trey McBride over George Kittle right now moving forward. Trey's younger. He's healthier. He's fresher. Like, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, they're going to the Hall of Fame. They're on the downside of their careers. Trey McBride is the future of the tight end position, and I will never forgive a certain 4-letter media company that did not have Trey McBride in their top 10 tight ends to enter this year. It's a joke, and it underscores the disrespect that this team has faced leading up to the season. And you know what? They're giving the double bird to everybody right now. Trey McBride, the energy and the physicality he brings, it's infectious to his teammates. It's like he and James Conner are trying to out-physical each other.
Athletically, at that position, like, it's like you said with the George Kittles and the Travis Kelces, right? I mean, you almost have to start, like, Trey McBride is a receiver.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yep.
That is big enough and strong enough to play tight end for you, which is just a complete mismatch. It's everything. And no disrespect to Evan Ingram when I say this, because I played with Evan and he's a phenomenal football player.
Yeah. Phenomenal
football player. But he had some injuries that derailed his career, right? Not necessarily derailed, but that. Trey McBride is, so far, is everything that they hoped Evan Ingram would be.
Yeah.
In this league.
Yeah.
And he's put it on display every single week. And it's the Cardinals struck gold when they went up and found him in whatever round they found him in.
We're going to give one Steve Keim, another 4-letter word on this podcast, his due. He and Monty Ossenfort were at the ASU game last night, by the way, and Steve was enjoying it. And Steve, I'm sure, is enjoying talking to his friends, in the football circle, inner circle, that one of his last picks could be a potential franchise icon for years to come. So that drive, by the way, the Sanderson Ford drive of the game, ended with a Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown in the back of the end zone. I'm going to ask you right now, Cardinals K1, Marv, and Trey McBride as your quarterback, receiver, tight end. Is there another trio of those positions that you would take in the NFL right now over those three? Quarterback, tight end, receiver. You got to use a tight end in there.
I mean, they're definitely in the top 5. I'll give you that.
I mean, I think
and closer to 1 than 5. I'll give you that. So top 3, honestly. I mean, you've got
Trey makes it very difficult for them to be topped at that, because then you're looking at who does. I mean, you're probably going to have to, out of respect, do D-Hop now, Kelsey, and Mahomes as the legacy play.
Yeah, and then
I mean, I don't know if I'm putting Purdy, Kittle, and Debo in that.
I mean, it's not even. I don't even know if. That's. I mean,
I think it kind of underscores there's 3 really great tight ends, and then there's everybody else, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Lions,
Laporta, Amon-Ra, and Goff for sure.
I mean, that's another line. But I mean, when you look at it tight end wise, I'm taking Trey McBride over Sam Laporta. So
no doubts. I mean,
all day long. Marvin Harrison's got the size and more of the ability to go up and get the ball than Amon-Ra does, just because Amon-Ra is only about 6 feet.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
people are saying Lamar, Henry, and Mark Andrews. That's a really good one. But I mean, we're talking receivers, so it'd have to be Lamar, Zay Jones, and
that's the only thing that gets you in Baltimore is the receiver part. And not to say that Zay Jones, he's young, right? He's still got a lot of growing to do. They did get Deontay Johnson in that trade, so I mean, they've got him, but
Lamar's playing the best quarterback in the NFL this year right now.
Gosh, I mean, he's on pace for another, a third MVP in 7 years.
Everybody drop a like on this video. We got clips from JG right around the corner. But first, Damon, Dawg, let's dive into some of these super chats here. And again, drop a like. Goal is 1,000 likes. We are on our way, friends.
Chat's going crazy right now. We got 18 super chats already. Johnny, what's the like goal?
The like goal is 1,000, but if we get to 1,000 while we're live, we'll up that to 1,500. So it's really what you guys want. If you guys don't want to get to 1,500 likes for a team that's in first place in the NFC West and route to a bye, I mean, that's your choice.
It's a fluid. It's a fluid situation.
Yeah, we'll
click a button.
It's like the people's expectation for the Cardinals. We just keep raising them every week.
We got 1,900 people in here. Hit that like button.
Oh, man.
Potato Bread starts us off with $19.99. Thank you, Potato Bread. Says, I want to personally apologize to Monty Ossenfort and Drew Petzing for criticizing their game plan and not making big moves at the trade deadline.
Potato Bread, first of all, thank you for that super chat. Very generous. And I appreciate your humility. Like, for me, I don't have to showcase that humility because I've always been the most humble person here. Yeah. But Potato Bread, that just shows what kind of, I was going to say condiment, what kind of carbohydrate you are. You're a real one for that. Let's keep it going.
That's really nice. That was big of you, Johnny, to say that to him.
Thank you so much, Damon.
You're so humble. AZ Moses 89 199. Hey Vegas, take notice. # Rise Up Red Sea.
I mean, Brittan, they were a 2-point underdog and they won by 25 points, and it wasn't close.
It wasn't even remotely close. But we said that in the pregame, right? If the defense did what we said, if they play like how they played, and the offense is on pace, like there's no reason they don't win this game today.
Let's keep it going.
Josh Espada 199. We're so good at football.
We're back.
It's crazy. Like, we sit here every week watching the games, whether we're with our friends at Gila or we're here in the studio or on location. It's just weird for this team to be good again. Like, we've waited, we've bided our time, right? And now it's happening. And minus, God forbid, something happened to Kyler Murray. Like, I don't see it changing. Like, there's too much good stuff going on. They've lost too many players to derail it at this point. Like, Darius isn't playing, and Ojulari and Dennis and Justin Jones and Bilal Nickel. Doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is person taking snaps under center and the head coach.
Bo's Digested Steak 499 says, tip stuffing Reddick was poetic justice. Eat crow, Johnny. Well-deserved bye week. These boys playing their butts off.
That's selfish, Bo's Digested Steak. First of all, I appreciate the super chat. Hassan Reddick would have had 10 sacks today for Jonathan Gannon, and you know he would have. But we appreciate that.
On this, if he was playing for the Cardinals, it would have been. Oof.
He'd leave the Cardinals in sacks after one game.
Teeing off on Aaron Rodgers, just standing still in the pocket.
Tyron Smith with his walker out there. Come on.
He left in the second quarter?
Bye, get out.
Chaz 199. It's good to feel happy again since the BA days.
I mean, does this feel, I know you weren't covering the team at the time or following them closely. How does this compare to your time with BA, obviously as a player, and then what we experienced with the Cliff years, which felt like a mirage? They didn't feel real. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm making money in the stock market, and then I go to cash out, and I have a negative account balance.
Yeah, I think when I was here with BA, it was we won, right? Even the last two seasons when we were 500, you can see it on these players' face right now with JG and them out there. They are enjoying coming. They enjoy coming to work, right? Yeah. They love that. They got a coach they believe in. They got a coach they want to play for. That's exactly how we were, right? In the years I was here with BA, we had a coach that we loved to play for.
Yep.
Right. We knew he had our backs. We had his back, and that's kind of the sense that you feel for this team right now. So, I mean, it's a good place to be, right? It's obviously working, right? We're trending upwards. It's just keep it moving.
Keep it going, Damon Dawg.
Connor 2 pounds just comes in and says 4 straight, 4 straight, 4 straight, 4 straight.
It's a good feeling.
Jonathan Casher 499. Daydream and Budda tandem is nutty.
Yes, it is.
They do complement each other really well. I'm not going to say they complement each other better than Jalen. He's played one game, but Taylor Demerson is a really high-end cover safety. He was the Cardinals' highest PFF graded player entering today. That was his write-up coming out of college. He was a rangy player. And then Budda, and this isn't disrespect, like he's not the cover corner or safety, excuse me. He used to be, but he's the best box safety in the NFL. He's tremendous at the line of scrimmage. So, like, they have a traditional kind of strong, free dynamic. And Taylor Demerson can tackle, too, as you saw today. He was stiff-arming and manning up some of those Jets receivers. So, it's a good problem to have right now. I would imagine Jalen Thompson will be ready after the bye, and then they're just going to have to decide. But if you've been watching the show for some time, and if you have, God bless you, from the football gods, like, Taylor Demerson was always going to force the issue as the calendar turned November, December. He's just too good a football player. Like, we got good intel. Like, he and Darius were having the kind of camps where it's like these guys should be starters day one, but circumstances kind of changed that.
Yeah, well, and it's tough, right? When you have two safeties already that are starting that are of the caliber that you have with Jalen and Budda.
And they're making a combined $31 million.
Yeah, well, yeah, that one, the money is huge. The money's a big factor, but even that, the play you've seen, right? Budda's second in the league in tackles?
Yeah.
Right now, like in the league.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. And Budda's a great open field tackler. He's a great box safety, right? He can still get it done in the coverage part, right? Right? If you play safety, period, I'm worried about your coverage skills. I don't care who you are in the league at safety, right? When we did one-on-ones and a safety walked out there and one-on-ones on a receiver, this was like, this is a catch. I'm scoring. It doesn't matter.
I also feel like the ascension of Max Melton and then Garrett Williams continuing to play all pro level corner, it makes it less necessary for Budda to cover people.
You don't need it. You don't have to go. You really don't have to play a lot of cover zero or even if you play man coverage, he can stay in the box and kind of be a robber. You know, and
Starling Thomas and Max Melton are on an island like every play.
They're doing what they're supposed to do. They keep everything in front of them and they make the play when it comes out there.
We're going to get to some clips here in a little bit, but let's keep these super chats going. Damon Dawg.
Yeah, next one comes from Alberto E499, Garrett Williams, Max Melton, and Starling Thomas.
I mean, the Cardinals went
a comment of that.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it. Like, Starling Thomas was forced to start last year based on, like, the need. He and Keitrell Clark were not ready, but they went out there and competed, and Garrett Williams was coming back from a torn ACL as a high third rounder out of Syracuse. Fast forward now, and then we knew Max Melton could play. He was a dog at Rutgers. Gannon basically hand-selected Max Melton. They wanted him. It was a perfect fit. They're doing this without a pass rush. And with respect to the pass rushers they have, they did a nice job today. but they don't have a conventional, like, one-on-one, they're winning with 4 pass rush. Can you imagine what this secondary is going to do when they can win with 4? When they have guys off the edge that can, beat a tackle one-on-one? I think you're looking at a defense right now next year when they get an infusion of defensive line help that, like, could F around and lead the lead in interceptions. Like, they don't get a ton of interceptions right now because those typically come with quarterbacks, like, trying to evade pressure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got, like you said, you've got guys out there that we've had the pass rush hasn't been stellar all season, but they're finding ways to plaster these receivers. They're finding ways to keep good coverage and not get beat deep and not get beat in the scramble drill. So, I mean, once the new guy, Browning, came in and pressured. He had a lot of pressure today, so I give him that. But once you can get to this position where Xavier Thomas is starting to rise up, this is 2 weeks in a row where he's had a lot of
100%.
pressure. All right, so you're getting that. Once you start getting this, this consistent pass rush going, right? Now you're going to start seeing the end of this season. If you can keep this up, you're going to start seeing more balls thrown up for grabs, hoping that your DBs come down with a catch. They are DBs, so we do, it's a 50-50 chance.
Although Garrett Williams was robbed, that was not pass interference. That was trash. That was the refs trying to keep the Jets' fraud season alive, but they couldn't take it from us. We wouldn't let them. I will not publicly apologize to the Cardinals for kind of a lackluster trade deadline, but I will say Baron Browning, great debut, couple pressures. Let's see if he can finish some sacks here in the second half. I will fully admit his pressure led to the Xavier Thomas strip sack in the red zone that turned the ball over. Barrett Browning, Xavier Thomas, Zaven Collins doing enough, getting the job done. We're going to get the job done here behind the corner as we get to Jonathan Gannon and K1 at their press conference. We're also going to hear from Bo Brock. That's up next here on PHNX Cardinals. Cards were money today, baby. And speaking of money, protect your money. Up your financial acumen with our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union, the official credit union of PHNX Sports, the Venerable household, hello, and the Arizona Cardinals. That's called a triple threat. Represent the Red Sea with the Arizona Cardinal Visa debit card. Up your financial acumen today. No place, better place to do your banking with our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. And this is, guys, this is not, and gals, a one-off transaction, right? This isn't, hitting up an ATM and that's it. This is a relationship. This is a financial partnership. Checking accounts, savings, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. If you're looking to buy a house, how about sell a house, right? Refinance. How about talk to somebody about a pension, a 401k, your financial options moving forward, whatever you're at in your financial acumen in life. Check them out right now. Plus, if you're a member of the Red Sea, you'll want to enter the Desert Financial Bird Gang giveaway sweepstakes. All you got to do, first of all, open up a free checking account online with the Arizona Cardinals Visa debit card. Go to desertfinancial.com/Cardinals. Then you could win a prize pack that includes 4 tickets to a Cardinal away game on December 29th, plus round-trip ticket airfare, hotel accommodations up to 4 people, 4 two-day theme park passes, and a $2,000 Visa gift card. Again, play like a pro. Get in on the game. Enter today at desertfinancial.com/getaway. Desert Financial always coming up big. You know what else is coming up big? Damon knows. Blue Chew. Our friends at Blue Chew right now. First impressions are important, friends. How about
Coming
lasting impression? Yeah, Damon.
That was an excellent.
I appreciate that. That's where Blue Chew comes in. They're going to help boost your confidence in the bedroom so that you can stay hard and perform at your very best. Cardinals were performing their best today. It wasn't too hard, though. The Jets were a pushover. Don't be a pushover in the bedroom. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but at the fraction of a cost, and it's chewable form. How easy is that? Right now, it's all done online. Discretion is the name of the game. This means, ladies and gentlemen, no visits to the doctors, no awkward conversations, no wait in line at a pharmacy. Take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead and be ready whenever the opportunity arises. And again, we've got a special deal for our listeners right now. Try Blue Chew for free when you use the promo code ALLCITY, all one word, ALLCITY, at checkout, paying $5, shipping, BlueChew.com, promo code ALLCITY. Get your first month for free. Again, check it out. Details, important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. I thank Damon, Dawg. We got some clips ready to go, my guy.
Not quite, but they are almost ready. We'll be hearing from Jonathan Gannon here in a second. Do you want to hit some super chats?
You know what? Let's do some super chats. Yeah.
Brian Abdallah, $5. Browning multiple pressures, but Johnny said that he wasn't good enough because he had 0 sacks. What's the punishment?
Zero punishment.
Clown
Brian,
emoji.
Brian, you watched the show, and I appreciate you, my brother. The punishment was he had to bring the quarterback down. Now, that doesn't mean he was a bust acquisition, that he didn't do his part. Give me the sacks, baby. I want this. I think the sacks are coming. And I am a man of my word. We will extend the punishment, Damon Dawg, indefinitely. So if he has a sack and a half in any game this year, I will do the punishment. How about that?
What's the punishment?
That's big of you.
Some say it's too big. Some people are saying like eat a hot pepper on air or just do the ice bucket challenge. I don't know.
Craig mentioned eating a worm.
No, I'm not doing that.
That's kind of gross.
I'm not. Come on. I have some integrity here. Have some integrity like this video here. Let's keep the super chat party going.
Our guy Ethan 199 says undefeated since the release of Call of Duty.
I'm telling you, I've been on it every night about 2 a.m. too. I love it.
What's the appeal for that game?
What?
What's the appeal? I've never played Call of Duty.
Talking explicits.
To what? 5th graders?
Who cares? They're the worst. Their mom goes in the other room. They're saying words they're not even supposed to be saying.
Oh my God. Get help.
I just tell them I'll see them at breakfast.
Oh my. Keep it going, Damon Dawg.
All right. Tribe 7 even $5 says the rebuild is done on offense. Personally, I still think we need a lot more talent on D.
I agree with the sentiment, but I think the term rebuild is a nasty word, first of all, and number two, like the Patriots are in a rebuild. The Saints are entering a rebuild. The Panthers are those are rebuilding teams. You can have a team, respectfully, that is competitive. It's winning games. You have flaws. Like there's no perfect team, but you can categorize them as
there's toughness. You know what I mean?
Like ascending. They're an ascending team with some holes on the defensive line.
Yeah.
But I don't consider the Cardinals rebuilding anymore.
I don't. I mean, the offense you have right now that's what you want, right? However you call it is you're not rebuilding offensively now. You could still find some key pieces for your offense.
Get another low lineman.
The best offenses in the game, right, are still trying to find an extra key piece, right? The only holes, and not necessarily holes you're filling. I mean, you could obviously get better on defense, right? But it's like when you look at this team and say they're in a rebuild, I think that's done, right? I think that Monty and JG and company have done exactly what they needed to do. Could they have done a little bit more? Yes. There's so much money left over in cash space. You could have done more, but you set yourself up now, especially the way they're trending, right? We're winning football games. You're putting big numbers on offense out there. You've got a defense that's, like we've said a million times, does not have the big power names out there, the guys like that, but this is going to start drawing attention of these names.
Yeah.
It's going to start be destinations for these free agents to say, hey, they got something brewing out there in Arizona right now, and that's something I'd like to be a part of. Right? So I think the way they're trending right now is, I mean, the rebuild, I don't want to call it a rebuilding situation. I think now it's just finding key components.
It's about just like continuing to take steps, right? Like I think they skipped a couple steps this year. Like they're poised to make the playoffs, and I thought that they had an outside chance to do that, but they're in first place at the bye. Did any of us think that was likely? And I get it, the division's kind of down this year, but they're 2-0 in it. They're 6-4. Like they're in a position. Let's say they win the NFC West, right? They host a home playoff game. You know, barring a run to the Super Bowl, like that's the next step then, and you get yourself some exposure and experience. Saying, okay, we're in the divisional round. Well, what's the step after that, right? Well, it's the NFC Championship game. It's the Super Bowl. It's winning the Super Bowl and hosting the Lombardi Trophy. Here's the equivalent of the Lombardi for this fine program. It's welcoming the co-host of PHNX Cardinals, our dear friend at the field at State Farm Stadium. It's Bo Brack in his phenomenal PHNX Sports long sleeve that I think he stole from me.
Is it chilly out
I'm
there?
not sure if that's his or not. Bo?
Ice cold in the locker room, man. Vibes immaculate, ice cold as far as the temperatures out here. So, yeah, I had to, this is mine. Of course, we're not the same size. So it is my pullover.
That's selfish. Nonetheless, let's talk about this game and the thorough butt kicking that the Cardinals put on the New York Jets. I mean, was it as emphatic as it looked on TV? This is a game where the Cardinals left no doubt. Like, never was at any point up for grabs. The Cardinals completely outclassed the Jets in all three phases and was a complete mismatch for all four quarters.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No, it was the very same on our end. The time of death for the Jets, I'm going to have to get a doctor calling that one, but it was pretty early in this matchup. It was just another demoralizing, just bludgeoning on the behalf of the Arizona Cardinals, what they were able to accomplish on both sides of the football. Of course, you guys have probably mentioned third straight game without surrendering a touchdown to the opposing offense. And then was this the performance from Kyler Murray? I know he's got a lot of them now, but was this it? I mean, what he was able to accomplish with he missed his first pass to Michael Wilson, and after that he goes 22 for 23, 17 last passes he connected, and was just in his bag the entire game. You saw it, I think, the complete offensive performance where they were finding it in the passing attack, they were finding it in the run game, they were doing whatever they wanted to do to this Jets team. It was the best, I think, all-around performance from this Cardinals team this season, and it's already got a couple of them on the slate, at 6-4 and winners of 4 straight.
Bo, how is this defense doing it? They haven't allowed a touchdown, as you mentioned, in 3 straight home games against some pretty good quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Caleb Williams on paper, and Justin Herbert. We know, again, it's the sum of the parts. They're playing team defense, but, like, good Lord, it almost looks too easy at times for this team.
Yeah, they can't extend plays, right? Especially when it's in the red zone. Like those 3 quarterbacks that, compared to the guys that we've seen terrorize the Cardinals, from Josh Allen to Jaden Daniels, who are elite with their feet, these guys are more statuesque. And I think with how well the guys are playing in the back end and secondary, to guys who've consistently done it, from Garrett Williams to Max Melton to now the recent addition of Rabbit Taylor Demerson, who had a big pass breakup against Devontae Adams before the strip sack of Aaron Rodgers. Like, I think that when you've got a guy who can't extend plays, can't move the pocket, this defense can kind of settle in, pin its ears back, and then play on the back end of it. And they've been fantastic. I mean, it looked like that streak was going to come to an end to open up the second half, and then they just clamped down and ended up coming off the field with the fumble recovery after Aaron Rodgers was taken down by your boy Xavier Thomas.
He's my boy. Speaking of my boy, we got JG. He met with Bo Brack and the rest of the media just moments ago. Here were the coach's opening comments following the 25-point win.
Good win. I thought we came out fast, started strong, all 3 phases really. And then I really like how the half ended, not giving them the ball back. That's a Hall of Fame quarterback. You never want to give him the ball back at the 2-minute. So some of those plays were critical. I think we ended with a field goal, and then I think they have the ball at the start of the second half. I think it was a 4th down stop, and then we go right down the field and score. I'm sure you saw his stat line. I think the quarterback was the best player on the planet today, so kudos to him. And we'll work tomorrow. They're going to get a little bit of rest, and they know the season starts now. His toughness, you know what I mean? I saw his helmet fly off 15 yards. It's not a good look when your quarterback gets hit like that. So I'm sure there's a miscommunication there, but so we got to do a better job there. But just talks about his resiliency and his playmaking, and his mental stamina, his competitive stamina, his mental toughness. Guy's a baller, man. A guy that can beat you on all 3 levels. Obviously, the catch and run on 3rd down was unbelievable. He's elite with the ball in his hands. I keep telling you guys this, and no one believes me. Like, the guy is elite with the ball in his hands. He can jump over you. He can break tackles. He can run by you. He can make you miss. And he's a big guy that runs really fast with good contact balance, and he's hard to bring down. So he's, from day one, the passing game, he's a guy that the passing game's going to go through. And he's executing, and he's playing well right now. There's no secret. It speaks to leadership in the locker room. What I say and what the coaches say, they take to it, and they know that that's what they need to do to give themselves a chance to win. So, whatever our record is right now, we're going to get a little bit of rest, but the most important thing we do is probably tomorrow, right? Because we're going to learn from this tape. And then they're going to get a little bit of rest, and then it's on to Seattle.
Great stuff from the head coach, Bo Brack, Jonathan Gannon. I love the comment. K1, he was the best player on the planet today. Kyler Murray continues to stack high-end performances, and oh, by the way, continues to stack dubs. I mean, Kyler Murray has been pulled for Clayton Tune in the best possible way each of the last 2 games following routes. I mean, what can you say about the franchise quarterback?
I mean, what else is there to say at this point? But, I mean, you're right. He was basically like, hey, kudos to you for being the greatest quarterback on the planet right now, best football player, as Craig Morgan does a little drive-by behind our shot here. And I believe, speaking of the franchise quarterback, you know, how he made that contribution to the Call of Duty endowment, $75K, also is taking care of some vets. I think there's still your experience going on behind me here. He's still taking care of these guys. Little post-game on the field experience. So guys winning on and off the field, and you just love to see it.
We're going to hear from the franchise quarterback right around the corner here on PHNX Cardinals. But first, the party doesn't stop with our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, specifically our friends at Wild Horse Pass, the site of the PHNX Cardinals and Suns watch party. How about a first-place team in the NFC West and a first-place team out west in the NBA? Watch parties are the place to be with both of our crews, and what better place than Wild Horse Pass? Lounge at either the AAA Fort Diamond Resort and let relaxation take charge with unbeatable desert mountain views, or go all in 4,500 slots and table games. Catch up on the action with the largest Arizona sportsbook casino. We love our friends at Wild Horse Pass. We're going to be back there in just a couple weeks as the Cardinals travel to Seattle. Myself, Brittan, Damon, everybody, Brack will be there, and we'll be hanging out. We want to see you there, and let unprecedented entertainment and excitement take over. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Play at Gila.com for more details. And Damon, Dawg, I was chatting with Brittan on and off air. I like to play with my toys, and I think it's time to include a Sanderson Ford truck, maybe an F-150 into my arsenal. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think as a truck guy, it's kind of criminal that you don't already own a truck, and what better truck to own than a Ford?
Are we calling Johnny a truck guy?
I think I can be called a truck guy without owning one. How about that?
No.
You can't do that?
Have you ever owned a truck?
I haven't, but I feel like now's the time to rip the Band-Aid off in the best possible way. And see, like, here's the problem when I've looked for trucks in the past. I think I've gotten some looks. Fair or not, they're like, come on, bro. How about a Prius? That's what I hear a lot in the chat. Johnny Prius boy. When I go to Sanderson Ford, specifically the largest Ford dealership in the nation, the location out in Glendale, which has been there for 70 years, by the way, 65-acre facility, I'm welcome there. It's a welcome environment. I get an education on their vehicles, including their F-150. Check them out right now. And this is the one thing I especially love about them. It's give back season. We've got Black Friday right around the corner. They support St. Mary's Food Bank, Southwest Autism Research Center. Right now, Black Friday savings are nonstop. Get a 2024 F-150, 3.9 APR financing, 66 months, plus up to $4,000 cash back. Similar savings on 900 new and pre-owned vehicles. Again, check them out right now. Black Friday savings are off the charts. AOC through Ford Credit up to $4,000 cash back requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle. Offer expires November 30th. Thankfully, there's no expiration date right now on the Cardinals postseason odds. Let's hear from the franchise quarterback, Kyler Murray, after the game.
We are not quite ready yet on the Kyler quiz.
Okay, let's get back to Brack and Brittan Golden. I'm going to have you and Brack jockey here as he's on the field at State Farm Stadium. Bo, what's better? What the Cardinals are doing now or what we experienced early on in the Cliff Kingsbury years? So I'm going to start with you and I'm going to pivot to Brittan Golden.
It's not even close. It's not even close. What they're doing right now is way more impressive, and I think they are just kind of scratching the surface. I think that you saw this kind of was an eruption today where they were able to kind of put it all together offensively, and they're just rolling into their bye week, and they have a chance to come out with a path to 7-4 alone at the top of the NFC West standings. You see them trending upwards where they came out hot before and then tapered off and then kind of fell off a cliff, for lack of a better term there, especially with what we're talking about. I don't think it's even close. I mean, what's going on right now, especially with this roster budding, it's really incredible what Jonathan Gannon, Kyler Murray, and crew have been able to put together here on the fly just in, as early as 18 months.
First place in the NFC West, what do you think is their cap for wins this year? 10 games in, they're 6-4. They got, 7 games left? Like, realistically, the cap for them.
I said at the beginning of the year before we started, when we did the first preseason game, this is a team on paper with the athletes, especially athletes you have on offense, that can win you at least 9 games this year. And with what we've seen the last 4 weeks, I would up it and say this is an opportunity for 10 or 11, right? This team right now gives you an opportunity to win 10 or 11 games with the offense performing how it is, and likewise with the defense performing how it is, right? If the defense can keep this streak going, right? Where somebody said it's been 14 quarters since they've allowed a touchdown, right? So I think if you can keep that going on with your defense, and then keep the offense trending upward, as it's just constantly been going up since we've been watching, I think this is a team that is at least a 10-win team.
Bo, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a true reporter, you will get Kyler Murray on this show right now. Creep up there, be a big creep boy, Bo Brack, and get Kyler Murray, force him to do his debut on PHNX Cardinals right now. Let's get him unmuted.
Work with this. He's going to continue to do his great work with his with the vets here. I will not bother tap into that to get Kyler on his debut here. But
we don't want to fraud or dupe Kyler into his debut on this show. We want it to feel organic when that happens.
Yeah, fantastic. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you perfectly. So while we have you, Bo, and we're waiting to hear from Kyler's press conference, let's take a re-eval of this team. I almost feel like ridiculous breaking down this game because it was such a butt kicking. It was such a nothing burger because the Jets are so fraudulent and the Cardinals are clearly the real deal. So what do you make of it now? 6-4. We enter the bye week period, and they've got 7 games left, half of which are against teams that they should be favored in, at least, if not 2/3. Where are you putting the cap on wins for this team this year?
I mean, you've got 2, I think, automatic snubs on the season, even though you want to keep on holding and folding with the Carolina Panthers. But I think on the road in Charlotte, you got a game at home against the Panthers. You got the Patriots. You got at least 2 more wins there. And you and I are pretty have a high conviction that they can get it against the Seahawks, at least 1 or 2, if not sweep that series. Probably should. I mean, that gets you 9-10 wins right there. So. And one thing I'll backtrack on, at least the Jets came in here. They given up the second least amount of passing yards, and they just completely picked them apart today. I mean, it wasn't even competitive. We went through all the numbers. I mean, and Kyler missed the first pass and then really didn't miss anything after that. He was just dealing the rest of the way. So it was really impressive. The one thing that the Jets could kind of say, puff their chest out on, the Cardinals just completely tore down.
I do want to touch on with both you guys. Bo, I'll start with you. Somebody we didn't include on Counting Cards, we definitely could have. I would think the demise of Trey Benson was very premature by those in the media. 10 carries, 62 yards on the ground, then added 25 through the air. But it's just the visual of how it looks now with the third rounder out of the ACC. I mean, talk to me about Trey Benson, who is, ironically allowing James Conner to stay fresh as the season goes on.
Yeah, and that's something that Gannon addressed in the press conference. He says that he's starting to play faster in practice, and that was kind of the precursor to him putting it together, really having 2 strong performances, back-to-back performances for the Arizona Cardinals. And I think that you're starting to see him. I think the game is slowing down for him, but at the same time, he's playing fast, and you're seeing him make quick cuts. I think Brittan probably can talk to it a little bit more than I can, somebody who experienced it coming in this league and then getting a couple games under your belt and then being able to kind of see the things that I think Trey Benson is starting to see open up for him in this running attack. But also it helps that the offensive line is just built to open up running lanes.
I think this is the first game where you saw Trey Benson he felt comfortable running the football. Right? The first few games this season, we saw a lot of, I get the handoff, I'm dancing, I want to try to get to the sideline. You saw the college route. Let me get to the sideline and try to beat everybody down and see if I can catch that sideline and go. What we saw today was a guy that got the handoff, hit the hole, right? He was running downhill, shoulders were forward. Let me hit this hole as hard as I can get in there, maybe break a couple arm tackles and extend some plays, right? He was so close about 4 times today to breaking off 30 to 40 yard runs. So, I mean, I think it's a confidence, factor for him now. I think it was just hey, this is a different league. This is a different pace of play, right? And I think he's feeling more confident himself. He's feeling more comfortable in the offense. You could see that the way he ran the ball today. He ran the ball like James Conner runs this football. When you see James Conner take handoffs, he's downhill right now. Even if he has to stretch it for a little bit, he sets something up, he sticks his foot in the ground, and he gets downhill. And that's what we saw Trey Benson do today. And I think you'll see that more as the season goes on.
Yeah, I agree with both you guys, and it was evident watching it. You know, one of the hardest things for speedsters at the college level, and that's what he was. And not to take away from his physicality, it was on display. But I mean, we watched some of those highlights like post-draft, and it was like 2 cuts and he was gone, right? And fair or not, a lot of that was against like non-NFL caliber talent. And so with James is like the perfect mentor, and we know they've spent a lot of time together, Trey Benson and James Conner, to understand what it means to grind out 5 to 7 yards. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Putting your shoulders square, right? You're taught at every level of football, get your shoulders square at the line of scrimmage and move forward. And now it's like, instead of trying to bounce it outside, gritty tackle, in between tackle runs. And I saw a bunch of people point this out in the chat and during the game, like he was close, Bo, from breaking it a couple of times in this game, whether it be catching a ball, making something out of nothing. I thought his fight for extra yards was fantastic. And it just gives the Cardinals, it's crazy now. It gives the Cardinals yet another weapon offensively where, you know, hey, there's Marv, he catches a touchdown, and Trey McBride's hurling people like a madman, and James Conner's an all-pro, and Kyler Murray's a dual threat. Now you add Trey Benson, and Michael Wilson had a couple catches. The Cardinals are so dangerous right now because they can beat you in a multitude of ways.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw it in the first half. I mean, just how he was completing passes to everybody. 7 different wide receivers caught balls from him. As you mentioned, Trey Benson had a big 17, 18-yard reception that he caught, set up the screen pass, and a credit to the offensive line for staying where they needed to be, disciplined so you don't get anybody, any flags up. And another real disciplined game by this team. Very little laundry on the field. But, yeah, I mean, he was able to, you're starting to see it kind of click as far as this offense where it was close a couple of weeks before, but now it's really clicking now. And he's able to just find open receivers all over the field, whether it's at the line of scrimmage or if it's downfield.
The numbers are gaudy, and they're also gaudy with our friends. How about a Desert Financial? Let's go by the numbers here if we could, Damon. And good Lord, that's a lot of red. Dwarfing the Jets. If you saw that graphic, you'd know exactly what kind of game that was. And it looked just like this. Brittan Golden Cardinals advantage check on every category. What's the most damning one to you?
I mean, obviously the turnover battle is what wins you games, right? But I think just in total, right? The rushing yards, you held Breece Hall and company to under 80 rushing yards, right? You put out another 147, and it wasn't even that it was a one-person thing, right? You had Trey Benson had 60 plus, Conner had 30 plus, right? DeMarcado had a couple good runs right there at the end as well. I mean, even DJ Dallas got some touch today.
Yeah.
So I think Kyler Murray had a couple key third down, the 2 touchdown runs he had. I mean, it's when our run game is working like this, it opens up. That's where you start seeing these games from Kyler in the pass game, right? Kyler threw for 260 plus today, and it was all because you have a competent run game. And we've shown that these last 4 weeks in the W's has been that, right? You show up, you establish a run game, you force teams to come down and start playing more guys in the box, and it's going to open up. Now you've got the McBrides and MHJs and Michael Wilson. You've got your playmakers in space, right? And I think I want to, because we've been very critical since the Kingsbury era of all the terrible screen passes that we've seen. But I think Petzing has started to get a feel for this with how his run game is working, and it's pound the ball, right? And then, here's a running back screen, right?
Yep.
And it showed it today with Benson and Conner, right? Conner had should have been a 44-yard touchdown off of a little screen pass. Benson had a couple big ones. I mean, it opens up this game where hopefully what we all want to see as fans, we all want to see this ball get thrown downfield at some point this year. God help us. At some point, I want to see this ball. But this is what's going to turn into. This is what, the trending up thing is what we're seeing right now. This offense has done nothing but this since we started the beginning of the year, right? And so I think this is going to start opening up these situations where it's going to force teams when they come in here to say, hey, their keys to the game are to run the football. And if they can't, if we can stuff the run and force them into the pass game, right, it's like, okay. Now we've got big guy out here with Marvin. We got another one over here with Michael, and now we've got Trey McBride up the middle. It's like we can still attack you deep, right? We've got all the weapons to attack you deep. So I mean,
the Cardinals opened up the game throwing the football, and they knew something on film. It was a coaching matchup. If you're with us with our friends on Samsung, jump on over to gophnx.com. The party continues. We've got super chats. So again, Samsung, jump on over. Go to gophnx.com where the party continues. Speaking of partying, let's hear from the franchise quarterback who much deserved R&R now in first place in the NFC West.
Not satisfied. Not satisfied. I think again, I told y'all last week. I feel like our record could be better than this. I feel like I expected to be here. I feel like the team expected to be here. So we just got to keep going. We got to keep going. I mean, I told you, I just the best I felt. You know, obviously the game being taken away from you, and being in a system like this, being the attention to detail. I say it all the time with Drew, the way he communicates it. There's no gray area. There's no. Like I said, I just we're on the same page. And year 2 being in the system, I just feel good seeing the game slow down. Obviously, it's my 6th year in the league. So I just continue, try to take it one day at a time and continue to play well. I think he's the best. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself or anything or, put any pressure on him. I mean, I know the work he's put in. I know what type of athlete he is, what type of player he is. And it's good to see, people taking notice as to what he does each and every week, when the ball's in his hand. I would say, again, we can't let this sink in. You got to stay healthy. You got I would say keep the game on your mind. I know the bye week can feel like a getaway, but I wouldn't get too far away from it. I know I'm not mentally. Just got to stay locked in and continue. I know we don't have a game this week, but football will be on my mind.
I mean, that's about as good as you can get from the franchise quarterback. Drop a like on this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Bo Brack, I mean, is this the most locked in we've ever seen Kyler Murray now 10 games into, what is this, his 6th NFL season?
Just absolutely dialed. I mean, it said everything. It was just a sweet symphony as far as a press conference that you want to hear after improving to 6-4 alone atop the standings in the division and then going into your bye week. It's I think that's a testament to Kyler, the leadership as far as the locker room, and of course the coaching staff. Nobody's letting them get too high right now. They've seen how it goes. You win one, you lose one. That was so for far too long. What was going on here, and now they've strung together 4 in a row, and they remain not satisfied. That's the quote from Kyler Murray, and you love to hear it. I mean, they came in and they, as he said, they emphasized the pass, and Jonathan Gannon even says, like, they asked him, did you feel like against the second best pass defense in the league you could throw the ball? He's like, absolutely. We felt like that was going to be our game plan, and they just went against what the Jets thought they were their strength and picked it apart. And then they're going to move forward. Like Gannon said, the season starts now, and it starts as they kind of, as you said, going into R&R. They're going to get their bodies right, but they're going to remain focused, and it starts with number one, your quarterback kind of setting the tone. He's going to be away, but he's not going to be away from the game at all.
You guys need to set the tone in the chat. We are almost halfway to our goals. 1,000 likes here on the post-game show. You guys are also setting the tone with our super chats here. Damon, Dawg, let's keep them going, my guy.
Yeah, let's hit a couple super chats. We'll start off with Turtle Trolls 199 says Johnny got to eat a pepper for those Browning pressures.
Ooh.
Again, I
Make him
love
do
you
the
all.
hot chip challenge. Let's see if he can survive that.
Again,
Some people were saying that in the comments, Brittan.
some people don't know the difference between pressures and sacks, but I'm happy to educate them. But
Pressures create turnovers, Johnny.
we can extend the sack challenge for the rest of this year. I'm happy to do that. I'm a humble guy. I like to keep the party going. Damon, let's keep it going with these super chats.
Yeah, Bo, before you jumped on, Johnny was man enough to say that if Browning gets 1.5 sacks for any game this year, that he'll do this challenge, not just limiting it to the one game.
I love it. I mean, the guy's going to have to turn some of those pressures in the sacks, though. I agree with my co-host. I mean, it's got to happen. Like, if you look at the actual box score, I know people will be like, oh, you're a box score, fan. It's like, he's not going to show up in the traditional box score. So he's going to have to do that as far as to get my guy to put down a ghost pepper and make, some social media and YouTube, fireworks.
Xavier Thomas has got the sacks right now. He's got the juice off the edge. He had a cleanup sack today. Baron Browning, I think he'll build on this performance. I think every week. You tell me he can't sack Geno Smith out of the bye? Sure he can. Let's keep it going, Damon Dawg.
PR Mac, $2. Well-deserved bye, rest up for the playoff push.
Yep.
Keep it going.
That's
I'll let
real.
you get
That's
this next
real.
tip.
We're going to talk about the
That's
playoffs
legit.
here in a sec. I want to get to the playoffs. Damon Cat, meow.
My arch
Love,
nemesis.
love seeing coach this team to 6-4. Hashtag not a joke. And then Damon Cat goes, meow, in the chat. We appreciate you, Damon Cat. Let's go to Cruz. I got this one. I don't ever want to hear Keim compared to Monty again. Back-to-back draft classes showing out. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, man.
Arizona Cardinals' most impressive first or second year player. What is this now? How many games we got? 27 games in. Could be from this rookie class last year. Like one player that comes to my eye. That's new era Cardinal football.
Oh, of both year of this last year and this year.
Yeah, combined. Like who comes to mind? I got two players I think of.
I mean, who are you thinking of?
I think
I'm going
offensive-
chalk, baby.
Yeah, offense it's Paris Johnson Jr. Defense it's Garrett Williams. Is that you, Bo Brock?
Yeah, I mean, and with Marv with 6 touchdowns now. I mean, he's showing up too.
Yeah.
I just feel like the best is yet to come with Marv. I think Paris and Garrett Williams should be in the Pro Bowl this year.
It would probably have to be Paris, just because of the consistency he showed last year as a rookie at right tackle, and then moving him to the left side this year, and you really haven't lost a step in consistency from him. Like that's as easy as it sounds, saying you played tackle over there, tackle over here. That's a complete one. The footwork's completely different. Now you're on your quarterback's blind side. That's a true island, right? The right side, if Paris got beat on the right side, Kyler can see it. Right? It's kind of like today, right? When they just brought more people. When Kyler got hit in the back today, they brought more people off of that side with the corner blitz added. There was more people that could be blocked.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just a tough situation right there where you got to just chalk it. It was a good play call defensively, but I think for the most part, Paris Johnson's got to be he's got to be the best one you've picked in the last couple of years, strictly off of the production, the consistency that he's shown week in and week out.
That's a great choice. A great choice for all of you. You got 2,000 people watching combined live. I want you to go to gophnx.com, become a diehard. Read the work of our guy Craig Morgan, who's dropping a banger of a post-game article. That's free to read, by the way, but you want that sweet, sweet percentage that's behind the diehard membership. You got to go and become a diehard. All it is, just under $80 for the year, free shirts, access to the exclusive member Discord, 20% off the merchandise locker moving forward. You get events, you get a discount on every event moving forward. You get a specific discount card. Again, access Jesse, Gerald, Craig Morgan. There's so much good stuff going on at gophnx.com right now. And again, become a diehard. We've welcomed so many new diehards. It's been humbling over the last several weeks. Tag us on Twitter. When you become a diehard, immediate retweet, immediate follow from the beat account. We want to see you become this part of this community. Come and hang out in our PHNX Cardinals member Discord. It is a blast. It's a special time to be an Arizona sports fan right now. Sun Devils on fire. Suns, best team in the West. Arizona Cardinals, Bo in first place. Patrick T, what it do, baby? Let's keep it going.
Patrick T, $5, says, honestly, if Connor or Baker doesn't end their career as a Cardinal, it's crazy. Both locker room leaders and stat leaders.
Yeah.
Josh, $5. Can we say that these last 2 draft classes are home runs yet? Monty is killing it with these drafts.
What do you think, Bo? Are these home run draft classes?
Yes. Yes, especially when if compared to the last. They were slumming it for so many years.
At least extra base hit, if that's how you want to say it. You're at least hit doubles and triples out of this, even if it's not a home run. You've got more wins on these last 2 draft classes than you do losses by a considerable amount.
Yeah, Keim time
now,
in retrospect is more
here's
like
the topper.
time.
Here's the topper. Darius Robinson and Jonathan Gannon, said he was confident he's going to play this season. When Darius Robinson comes back, it completes it, and I think it's a round tripper, no doubt about it. Once he gets back,
the final Infinity Stone, Darius Robinson.
That's right.
Ethan comes back 199. Remember when Dan Arnold was the guy for tight end?
I don't even know who that is.
He was the Kingsbury tight end. He's like a converted wide receiver. He's all right. He's solid.
Yeah. He's like a
Skinny guy.
6'6" dude. Yeah.
He had the same type of pedigree as Brittan Golden did.
He was
Nobody knew his
You
name.
were more memorable, my guy.
he was BG. He was like Ricky Seals Jones, just like down the
Yeah,
road.
but Ricky was actually dangerous when you threw him the football.
Yeah,
Ricky was a true wide receiver that just happened to be 240 pounds.
Did Dan play basketball? I feel like Dan might have played basketball. We're giving out a free Pit Boss Grill.
he
Check
might play
it out
basketball now at like
Yeah,
LA
maybe.
Fitness.
We're giving out a free Pit Boss Grill. Check it out in the comments and in the show notes. I've asked for the Pit Boss Grill. They've said no. We're giving it out to somebody else. Don't be
He
selfish.
didn't know how
So
to grill.
I would love to be.
No.
I would love to be a Sanderson Ford truck guy, and I'd love to
Such
have
a
a Pit Boss
fraud.
Grill.
Such
He
a
doesn't have
fraud.
truck. He didn't even drive a truck. I know he can't grill.
Be everything that I can't be, and get a free Pit Boss Grill and a Sanderson Ford truck. Damon, let's keep it going.
Doc XD $2. We got a great chance of getting double-digit W's.
Yes, we do.
If the Cardinals win 10 games this year, Jonathan Gannon should be coach of the year. He won't win it because the NFL is filled with, I think, biases, specifically on the East Coast, biases against this franchise. In a division, if he wins the NFC West in a division with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, he should be the coach of the year. That's a joke. And I'm going to tell you right now that should be not up for consideration. Kirk Cousins lost to fraud New Orleans today and Derek Carr's corpse, and he's the runaway favorite for comeback player of the year. Kyler Murray, Bo, is the comeback player of the year. Not Kirk Cousins. Get out of here. With Atlanta's last place schedule, they have the easiest schedule in the NFL. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, you get some vomit-inducing people standing in front of the Cardinals, the people who've kind of led the way here for this renaissance. It's and yeah, you're going to see it. I think like Dan Quinn's probably going to get some credit as far as coach of the year, and then like if the Niners continue to put themselves and McVay continues to put his team in contention, they'll unfortunately get more run than Gannon and more credit, but Gannon deserves it all.
Next super chat comes from a little spooky $4.99. Did you see Jonathan Gannon and Hassan Reddick talking for a good minute after the game? Plus, Williams is our new CB1.
We'll see Hassan Reddick. What month is it? November, December, January, February, March. Give it 4 months, 5 months. We'll see Hassan Reddick once again.
Bold prediction.
Alex Jerez, $4.99. Kudos to our young players helping build the foundation of this team for years to come.
Yeah.
Jay, $5. Great W. National media was so disrespectful. Mina Kimes and Brian Balding are both picked New York.
Oh, my
Narrative
God.
will change now. Kyler Murray is money.
That hurt. That cuts deep, especially with Mina. Come on, Mina. How dare you?
How about the squad though? For 2 consecutive weeks, we held the line together in unison.
Oh, yeah.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
That was touching. AZ Moses, 89, 199. Blue Chew got Johnny feeling huge after that W.
I don't need Blue Chew to get excited after that dub, my guy.
Oh, listen, Bo.
Cha-ching,
Johnny had the
cha-ching,
greatest Blue Chew entrance today. Like, it was bam. What does he say? Chef's kiss?
Chef's kiss.
I'm
Blue
gonna
Chew.
Catch it on replay. Be grossed out
man.
by it.
Rocky Jameson, 199, and then comes back with another 199. Says 6-4, boys. Let's go.
Is this best case scenario, like before the bye? I can't remember. Did you and I predict 6-4, 5-5, like, fanboys with the pom-poms in the preseason? I feel like this is best case scenario.
Yeah, I think we did. We re-looked at it was a way different path. Like, we didn't have them beating some of the teams that we thought were going to be tougher, and we had them beating some teams that have emerged, just like the Cardinals is one of the better teams in 2024. But yeah, this is by far the best case scenario. And then coming out and then getting to go face a division foe on the road, a little bit fresher, and take on Geno Smith and the crew up there in Seattle in week 12.
Bo's Digested Steak, 199, comes back and says, don't need Blue Chew and Johnny's jeans looking so fine.
Wow. I appreciate that.
Steve Warlock, 505, $5, just with 2 flex emojis.
That's right. Those are my arms.
Taboo's Tidbits, $4.99. Arizona is for real. One of the most complete wins of any team this season. They made the Jets tap out. K1 ran the show in total command. Go Cards.
I mean, like, everybody slobbered over D'Amico Ryans last year, and he did a nice job. D'Amico Ryans lost to this Jets team 10 days ago. D'Amico Ryans a good coach, but people were like, you can't hire Jonathan Gannon in Houston. We have D'Amico Ryans. Like, Jonathan Gannon's a really good coach. They ended the Jets today. The Jets season was on the line. The Jets at no point were in this game. Like, the Jets had no hope at any point. First, second, third, fourth quarter. The Cardinals completely outclassed them for 4 quarters. Like there was. When's the last time, like, I guess the Miami game when the Cardinals came back and won? The last 2 weeks, it has been. You want to know where the Cardinals stand in the coaching hierarchy, Bo? Eberflus comes to town, pees his pants, and then whatever the Jets just did, it has been a complete coaching malpractice. And that's how you know the Cardinals are on the right track.
Yeah.
When they see the frauds come to town and they just bludgeon them for 4 quarters.
Yeah. No, I mean, take a look at this. This is State Farm Stadium. This is the scene of back-to-back murders. That's what transpired. I mean, there's going to be a chalk outline of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and then the previous week, Flus and Caleb Williams and that Bears team that got just dominated by the Patriots because they had their soul snatched from the Cardinals last week. So, yeah, very impressive. Very impressive to take care of business going into the bye.
Let's keep it going.
Patrick T, $10. JG is our new BA.
Here's the better part about that, and I love Bruce Arians. There was always a shelf life given Bruce Arians' age. They hired him at 60 years old. There was always a shelf life when you traded for Carson Palmer because he was in his 30s and he had major surgeries. This is the first time, Brittan Golden, maybe since, I don't know, Don Coryell or Jake Plummer or somebody like that 40, 30 years ago, where you can say, we've got the head coach and the quarterback. The rest of the roster's fluid, but we've got the makeup now to have a run. Like, you're seeing what's going on with Detroit. They get Goff. They get Dan Campbell. Like, they're on this now what could project to be a 3 to 7 year run. Cardinals should be able to emulate that.
No, I agree. And one, you got your coach. You got a young coach. And you got a coach that the players, I guess, they connect with. It's somebody that they want to play for. They want to leave everything on the line on the field for that guy right there to make sure that he walks off with a W. So this is exactly what and you see it, throughout the league. The team that gets that coach, one that's relatable, right? He's a player's coach, that he's in there and he's doing everything he can to bring his guys together. And then you start seeing the success mount. Like you said, Detroit Lions, right? Dan Campbell got in first year in there. They didn't win a lot of games, but you could see, right, the games they won and how they were staying in games. They just didn't win those close ones. You could see everything trending up. You could say, hey, these guys need a couple more pieces here or there, and they're going to be good. And we're seeing it right now, right? The Lions are the best team in the NFC right now, really the best team in the league, if you want to go off of, just the production they put out there. So, I mean, this is a best-case scenario for the Cardinals. Like I said, you got the coach that they want to be, a coach that wants to be here and one that your players enjoy playing for. And you got a young quarterback, you got a young head coach. Right now it's just about continuing to find those pieces to make this team better.
Let's keep it going. ID the Mike 91 199 says, God, I love this team.
They're one of the most likable teams. Like, and I those Cliff teams, they had a lot of cachet to them, but there was minimal substance. Like, there's something to be said when your team like bludgeons a team like the Jets, who are the biggest frauds. They have a lot of similarities with those Cliff teams where it's like star power and acquisitions and overpaid players. And then you run into a team like this and they humble you. The Cardinals are humbling teams. And I love the fact that now we can look up, and hopefully it's the beginning of the end for the opposing fan takeover. I know you're always going to have people from Santa Clara. The Niners travel well. But like outside of that State Farm Stadium, Brack, let's get it back to a place where it is overwhelmingly red and white in the stands, please.
Yeah, I think you're going to start to see the tide shift there. Now, people are going to start to pay attention. Like they're going to see this win, last week's win. They're going to see the standings, and then they're going to go on Game Time, and they're going to see the prices, and they say, I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to go watch a potential playoff team make its run back to the postseason.
Vondo 199 reiterates that statement, says, I love this team, #GoCards.
Let's get to Vondo's next super chat here.
Yeah, 999. Says, can't remember the last time I was this happy to watch this team. And to all the K1 haters, looks like you are keeping the Call of Duty and short jokes in the Twitter drafts a little bit longer. And then he uses my favorite emoji, the pointing emoji.
At you,
Yeah,
you
laughing
losers.
at you.
So there's pretty quiet Twitter streets now with the K. He's got to finish this season. But we're going to talk about K1 in a second. But first, I have to take some shade from my guy, Brian.
Brian, $2 says, pressure makes diamonds and Johnny excuses. LMAO.
We'll discuss this on a future show, Brian. How dare you? Everybody like this video. Again, halfway to our goal of 1,000 likes here on a football post-game show. Johnny, Venerable, Brack, Brittan, Golden, Damon, Dawg. As we wrap up a first half of the season ahead of the bye for the Arizona Cardinals, 6-4. Where do the Arizona Cardinals go from here? Do they have an MVP caliber quarterback in Kyler Murray? Can Kyler Murray, Jonathan Gannon, and company make head in this NFC West and potentially win it in the second half? Bo, I'm going to start with you. What do the Arizona Cardinals, now knowing what you know, need to do with the final 7 games to win the NFC West in 2024?
They need to continue to keep their foot on the pedal, right? They need to keep their foot on the gas and move forward, and I think get healthier at some key positions, like their defensive front. If they can get, Darius Robinson back, that can be a game changer. You already see a team that's maybe undermanned in the defensive front 7 that's overperforming, and they're what they're able to do as an overall defense and keep opposing offenses out of the end zone is already spectacular. And then to do that in some key matchups coming up in your division, you're going to need it. And if you can get a big game record potentially like Darius Robinson, that's going to be huge. And then you get healthier at the right tackle spot. As great as we've seen from Grandpa and Calvin Beachum and holding down that right tackle spot so consistently the last couple of weeks, I think you're going to get you're going to get somebody who's going to be able to stonewall, edge rushers coming off that side of the line, and Jonah Williams back in the lineup, and Kyler Murray is going to be able to have even more time to do whatever he wants in the pocket, extend plays, and find his playmakers. So I mean, they're getting healthier in the trenches, which is a great sign. And it just continue to take care of business against these middle of the road teams to below average teams. Like, they just haven't had those slip ups yet. Like, they've lost to good football teams, and that's fine. You want to see them kind of get over the hump there with that. But as long as they're taking care of business against these bad teams, they're going to be in a really good shape going forward.
I agree with Bo. I think the help you're going to get back with, D-Rob and Jonah Williams is going to be crucial on both sides of the line. But consistency is the key for this team right now, especially in the way that they're trending. And then this offense continuing to grow, right? Continuing to keep taking the steps to go up, right? We don't need to see like this tremendous shift like up here. It just one day at a time, one play at a time, getting better every week. And I think this team, like we said it multiple times already, this is a team that should win 10 games this year. And I think consistency is going to play a key factor in that, and just not beating themselves. This team can win a lot of games as long as they're smart. They play smart. That was one of BA's biggest things, right? Smart football, right? If you play smart football, the odds of you coming out with a W are tremendously higher. So I would agree. I think the help they're going to get back on both sides of the line, plus just staying consistent on offense and defense as well, right? They've played tremendous these last couple of weeks defensively. You said overproducing what anybody could possibly imagine with what you have on that defensive front. So the big word is just consistent. Just stay consistent week in, week out, and play smart ball.
Counting the 7 games remaining, the Cardinals will have a distinct quarterback advantage in every game, minus, if you want to say, at LA against the Rams. Stafford, give him his due, Super Bowl champion. Outside of that, it's a lot of Geno, Sam Darnold, who has turned into a pumpkin, Drake May, Bryce Young, and Brock Purdy at State Farm Stadium in the finale. That's got to make you feel good. That's the reason why I think this team's going to win the NFC West. 7 games left. Yes, 4 of them on the road. You're going to have the coaching advantage in a lot of those games, and you're going to have the quarterback advantage every time you turn on your TV, save for, week 18, 17 at LA. And who knows what the state of the Rams is going to be at that point anyway. So that's why I feel confident. You want to see the continued maturation process of Marvin Harrison Jr. I still think Marvin has another level. I think we all agree on that. Like a very modest, 50 to 60 yards, stay in a touchdown. Pretty soon, you're going to start seeing like Trey McBride, 70, 80, 90 yards on consistent basis. I think one of the most encouraging facets of Marvin's game today, 5 targets, 5 catches, no nonsense. Catching the ball, bringing it back in, making big plays for his teammates. I thought his touchdown ball in the second quarter was really the knockout punch for the New York Jets and the Arizona Cardinals today. So, I mean, it's crazy we're sitting here. And who would have thought, especially at 2-4, we were sitting at Gila River Resorts and Casinos and talking about a team maybe facing another lost year. They've rattled off 4 straight. They are who their record is. And Bo, now that they put themselves in a position, if they win the NFC West this year, I mean, you talk about springboarding this fan base into the future. We could be looking at a very special era of Cardinal football on the horizon.
Yeah, and ahead of schedule, right? I mean, ahead of schedule. Just 2 draft classes under their belt, and guys coming out of year 1 and going into year 2, and guys in year 1 that are producing, making big plays for this team. I mean, you had Rabbit Taylor Demerson break up a pass against Davante Adams. Like, you had guys that were going up against Sauce Gardner and Marvin Harrison Jr. and winning those battles one-on-one. Like, they've got guys that can win consistently. And that's a testament to, I think Monty Ossenfort, his scouting department, and putting together, the right mix of young players that are bought into Jonathan Gannon, Nick Rollis, and Drew Petzing's systems and are ready to go and are going to stay hungry here in this bye week and come out of the gates and realize what's in front of them on the road in Seattle, a place that Brittan and his teams love to go up into the Pacific Northwest and win football games. And I think that this team's going to get a similar taste for it when they come out of the bye week in week 12.
Everybody, do us a favor, like this video, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Big thanks to everybody who's become a diehard. Again, tag us on Twitter, immediate retweet, immediate follow from the Beat account. We want to see you in the Discord because the party does not stop. And again, Cardinals, they're back for a modest week of workouts. We're back nonetheless on a Football Monday with continued coverage of your first place Arizona Cardinals on your #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. It's PHNX Cardinals. Brittan Golden, Ball Brack at State Farm Stadium. He's Damon, Dawg. I'm Johnny Venerable. Hit that like. We're back. Victory Monday, mañana. Everybody be well. We'll see you then. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.